Jared. Jared was an incredible athlete. I am so grateful that I have hundreds of hours of him on the ice skating as a little boy with this little red helmet on. Jared was the oldest of my two children, and he was a straight A student, played ice hockey through the United States and Canada, found heroin at 20, and 36 months later he was dead. I realized at one point that, oh yeah, he's not like 2 years old when he's running into the street and I can grab him by the hair and pull him back. But that's just sort of the instinctual thing that we do as moms, that we want to help our kids and help them figure it out and keep them out of harm's way. But it did lead me into this world of sober living. And when he died at a sober living home, ironically called the Safe House, and I didn't get a phone call from the owner, and I just wanted to know what happened to my kid, which is why I had to file a lawsuit to get my questions answered. It took, oh my gosh, 7 years to get a trial. 5 bites at the apple, and I finally got there. And tragically, my husband died of a massive asthma attack, so my world shattered. So I just sort of like had to let that go. And a couple of years later, I have a 12-year-old granddaughter, so it was a while ago, a few years ago. And she said to me, "Grandma, you need to turn your frown upside down." It got me redirected into doing this passionately, with love, to where it doesn't hurt me, because what I do every day is very heavy. I talk to grieving mothers every day. They just got that phone call. They don't know what to do. They don't know what resources that are available to them. Well, I can tell you that there's a place in Lake Arrowhead Recovery, or in Lake Arrowhead, that started as a Buffalo treatment and then morphed into Lake Arrowhead Recovery, and I'm on Death 31. We as parents send our children to college for 4 years to get a degree, but we expect them to get addiction in 30, 60, or 90 days, which is why this whole model that currently is what is considered treatment is so broken, because it is not a model of recovery, it's a relapse model. Every person who goes into a treatment, and if they have an opioid addiction, is prescribed a litany of drugs. They're put on an opioid protocol, and it's all the same. And the first drug that they get is Suboxone. And when you combine that drug with gabapentin, which everybody is put on in drug treatment facilities, I'm not sure why, but gabapentin and 6 or 7 other drugs that will suppress your respiratory system, you will die. So every day, not every 2 days or once a week, every day I'm getting calls from parents because their kid died, but they died in detox. They get prescribed all these medications and then are taken back to the 6-bed detox facility that's licensed by the Department of Healthcare Services. That detox facility is a non-medical facility. And that person who was just put on all those medications isn't a patient. That person's a client on vacation, just from the state standpoint. So they go back to this place where they're doing this heavy-duty detox on medications that they've never been on before. Mind you, they came in on one drug. Now they're on 16 others. And who's monitoring them? Oh, the guy that was there a month ago as a patient. Now he's a medical technician all of a sudden, and he's there to regulate, to monitor. And the biggest problem is let's say things go bad. Somebody didn't monitor, which is what always happens. Usually somebody's too busy on their phone, because it's every 15 minutes you're supposed to, and then they die. a kid will come on in at 2 in the morning and they're told they're going to see a doctor, but they really don't get to see a doctor for maybe 24 hours, maybe. And even if they do get put in a vehicle or taken somewhere, they don't see a doctor. They see a physician's assistant. And I can say this because I have the data to support the facts, every other facility has a prescription pad pre-signed by the doctor. And so the nurse practitioner can come on in and check the boxes and bing, bang, boom. You know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And I believe that the Affordable Care Act was a great thing. But people need to understand that the addiction world and the industry that was born out of it was born out of this premise. And that is, the Mental Health Parity Act says that you have to treat addiction like it's a broken arm. So how do you do that? Well, the only way you can do that, and if you track back your old episodes of Dr. Phil, at some point you start seeing him start dropping this whole new 2-word thing called dual diagnosis. It's a dual diagnosis center. What does that mean? What that means is this, is that in order for addiction to get paid for, you have to be dually diagnosed with anxiety, depression, and put on medications. And then you can get coverage. So Big Pharma's laughing all the way to the bank, okay, because they got people hooked to begin with in many respects. A lot of opioid people, you know, started in that vein. And now they have the drug taking them off. What I would not do as a parent in crisis is pick up the phone and reach out to the 800 number, 1-800-ADDICTION, because what you're going to end up doing is getting on the phone with somebody who you believe is a trained addiction counselor, who's there to have your child's best interest at heart, when in fact they are just a slick body broker who is going to get paid the most money dependent upon where they place them. So every time, you know, we try to create a law or tighten something up, it's quickly circumvented. There's always some kind of a bit of a quick fix to it. So what the real problem here is this, is that the Department of Health Care Services is not equipped. But the bigger problem is the head of the Department of Health Care Services, who is, you know, in the stepper world, and a lot of the people at the Department of Health Care Services are stepping along too. I want to shine a light on this treatment process from beginning to end, change the laws, and start holding people accountable. Because that's really the only way things really do end up changing in the end, is when you start holding people accountable. And that's the key.